Welcome to AI Daily Deep Dive, your shortcut to understanding the AI landscape. The cool thing is this entire episode, from research to script, is completely AI generated. We've got a packed agenda for our deep dive today. We're going to be looking at some breaking news from the world of AI, covering everything from efficient AI models to autonomous agents, and even a glimpse into the microscopic world, all thanks to AI.
It's amazing to see how AI is rapidly advancing and impacting so many different fields. It feels like every day brings news of a new breakthrough or a novel application.
Absolutely. Let's jump right into the first story. Alibaba, the Chinese tech giant, just unveiled its latest AI reasoning model, QWQ32B, and you won't believe this, their stock is already skyrocketing because of it.
What's fascinating about this new model is that it's directly challenging the current leading model, DeepSeek R1. But here's the catch, it's significantly smaller. QWQ32B utilizes 32 billion parameters, while DeepSeek R1 boasts a massive 671 billion.
That's a huge difference. So what's the advantage of a smaller model? Does it mean it's less powerful?
Not necessarily, it's actually a sign of increased efficiency. Smaller models can be faster, require less computing power, and are generally more cost-effective to run. This move towards efficiency could be a game changer for the accessibility of AI.
So could this mean that smaller companies or research institutions could have access to powerful AI without needing massive computing resources? That would open up a lot of possibilities.
Exactly. This trend towards efficiency could lead to a democratization of AI technology, making it more widely available and potentially shifting the balance of power in the AI landscape.
That's a really interesting point. Now, switching gears to another fascinating development, this time out of China. Have you heard about Manus?
Manus. Yes, it's creating quite a buzz. It's a new, fully autonomous AI agent that's designed to handle a wide range of real-world tasks. We're talking about everything from planning trips and analyzing stock portfolios to actually building functional websites.
Hold on, building websites. That's pretty impressive for an AI. What sets Manus apart from other AI agents we've seen, like AI chatbots?
While many AI agents excel at generating ideas or providing information, Manus takes it a step further. It's designed to be truly autonomous, meaning it can take actions and deliver tangible results. It's not just about suggesting the best stocks to invest in. Manus can execute the trades for you, for example.
That sounds both incredibly convenient and a little bit unnerving, to be honest. It really makes you think about the implications of increasingly autonomous AI.
Yeah.
Where do we draw the line between helpful automation and relinquishing too much control?
It's a valid concern, and one that we need to consider carefully as AI continues to evolve. Ensuring that these AI agents are aligned with human values and goals is going to be crucial as they become more integrated into our lives.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, our next story takes us into the realm of scientific discovery. Scientists have made a groundbreaking achievement, observing atoms in motion, in real time.
It's a truly remarkable feat that's been made possible by combining artificial intelligence with electron microscopy.
Wow, observing atoms in motion. That's something I never thought I'd hear in my lifetime. Could you explain how AI plays a role in this? It sounds pretty complex.
It is. Imagine trying to track the movement of individual atoms within a nanoparticle. The images captured by electron microscopes, while incredibly detailed, often contain a lot of noise that obscures the true movements. AI steps in to filter out this noise, allowing scientists to see the clear, real-time movements of atoms with incredible precision.
So AI is acting like a superpowered lens, revealing what was always there but hidden from our view. What kind of impact could this technology have on various fields?
The potential applications are vast. Imagine being able to observe the dynamic transformations of nanoparticles as they happen. This could revolutionize material science, leading to the design of new materials with specific properties. Think about more efficient solar cells, stronger and lighter construction materials, or even self-healing materials.
It's mind-blowing, and it doesn't stop there, right?
No, it doesn't. It extends to pharmaceuticals, potentially allowing us to see how drugs interact with cells at the atomic level, leading to more targeted and effective treatments. And in electronics, this technology could pave the way for even smaller and more powerful devices.
It seems like we're entering a new era of scientific discovery, all thanks to AI. This next story takes us from the microscopic world to the realm of our own minds. It's about how AI is not only changing what we think, but how we think. We're moving from an era of search engines to something called thought engines. Does that make you reevaluate that Google search you did this morning?
It certainly puts things into perspective, doesn't it? We used to rely on search engines to find information, but now AI is increasingly shaping how we process and interpret that information. AI is becoming more involved in the way we learn and form opinions. It's curating content, filtering information, even suggesting ideas before we even ask.
That's a really interesting point. I've definitely noticed how algorithms seem to know what I'm interested in, sometimes even before I do. It's like they're anticipating my thoughts. How is AI doing that?
It's the power of recommendation engines and a new breed of algorithms called influence engines. They're constantly learning from our behavior, our searches, our interactions, and using that data to shape what we see and ultimately what we think about. It's like having a personalized AI assistant that's constantly curating your intellectual world.
This raises a pretty big question, doesn't it? Are we becoming overly reliant on AI to structure our thinking? How do we maintain critical thinking and intellectual autonomy in an age of influence engines?
It's a crucial question, and one that we need to address as AI becomes more integrated into our lives. It's not about rejecting AI altogether, but understanding its limitations and potential biases. How do we use it critically without letting it dictate our thoughts?
That's where the concept of AI literacy comes in, right? It's not
Yeah.
just about using AI tools, it's about understanding how they work, their potential biases, and how to evaluate the information they present to us. It's about being informed and empowered users.
Exactly. AI literacy is becoming as essential as traditional literacy in this rapidly evolving technological landscape. It's about being informed and empowered users, not passive consumers of AI-generated content.
And speaking of informed users, this next story really highlights how important AI literacy is becoming, not just for individuals, but for entire nations. Ukraine is making headlines for its innovative use of AI, specifically in enhancing its drone capabilities during the ongoing conflict.
What's remarkable is that Ukraine is leveraging the power of publicly available AI models and retraining them with their own classified data. This allows them to develop highly specialized and efficient systems at a fraction of the cost. They're essentially taking readily available AI and giving it a very specific upgrade.
So they're not building expensive, custom-designed AI systems.
Exactly. It's a testament to both the accessibility of AI technology and the ingenuity of the Ukrainian forces. What's impressive is the level of effectiveness they've been able to achieve with this approach.
How much of an impact has AI had on their drone program?
Reports suggest that Ukraine has been able to significantly increase the success rate of their drone operations by integrating AI. It's quite remarkable. They've gone from a success rate of roughly 10–20% to a staggering 70–80%.
Wow, that's a game changer in terms of military effectiveness. It really highlights how AI is changing the face of warfare, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. AI is not some abstract concept confined to research labs or science fiction movies. It's having a real-world impact on conflicts and geopolitics, and it's crucial that we understand these implications as we move forward.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into the world of AI. So much to process right. From soaring stocks and microscopic atoms to thought-provoking questions about AI's influence.
It's been quite a whirlwind of information. I'm particularly struck by the sheer speed and breadth of AI advancement that we're witnessing. It's both exhilarating and a little daunting to see progress on so many fronts. We're talking about fundamental scientific discovery, the development of autonomous agents, and the integration of AI into real-world applications like warfare.
I completely agree. It feels like we're living through a period of rapid technological transformation, and AI is at the forefront of it all. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a moment to reflect. What are your initial thoughts on these stories so far? What's standing out to you? What are your initial thoughts on these stories so far? What's standing out to you?
Honestly, for me, it's the potential of AI to be both a powerful tool for good and a source of concern.
A double-edged sword.
Yes, precisely. And that duality is what makes it so important to have these conversations, to show knowledge, and to collectively grapple with the challenges and opportunities that AI presents.
Well said. We'll delve even deeper into these stories and explore some of the broader implications of AI's rapid evolution when we return.
Welcome back to AI Daily Deep Dive. Before we move on, I want to go back to something we talked about earlier. Ukraine's use of AI in its drone program, it really highlights how focusing on specialized AI systems can yield impressive results. It seems like there's a shift away from those massive AI models we often hear about.
That's a great observation. It does seem counterintuitive. We tend to think that bigger is always better, especially when it comes to AI. But Ukraine's approach demonstrates that sometimes a more targeted approach can be just as effective, if not more so.
Exactly. And this aligns with a growing trend in AI development. There's a recognition that bigger isn't always better. Sometimes focusing on specific tasks and tailoring AI models accordingly can lead to significant gains in efficiency and performance.
So instead of trying to build one AI to rule them all, it's more about creating a diverse ecosystem of specialized AIs, each optimized for a particular purpose. Kind of like having the right tool for the job.
That's a fantastic analogy. Just like you wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw, you wouldn't use a general-purpose AI for a highly specialized task. We need a range of tools, each designed to address specific challenges.
This brings us back to that idea of AI literacy. If we're going to be working with and alongside a diverse array of AI systems, it's crucial to understand their strengths and limitations. We need to know which AI tool is right for which task. What do you think are the most important aspects of AI literacy for the average person?
Well, for starters, it's about understanding that AI literacy goes beyond just knowing how to use a particular AI tool. It's about grasping the underlying principles, recognizing the different types of AI, and having the ability to critically evaluate their outputs.
So it's more about being an informed and discerning user, not just blindly accepting whatever the AI presents.
Absolutely. It's about being able to ask the right questions. For example, if an AI is recommending a particular course of action, we need to be able to pause and ask ourselves, why is it recommending this? What data is it basing its decision on? Are there any potential biases or limitations I should be aware of?
It's about thinking critically about AI and not just blindly accepting its recommendations. And recognizing that AI is not a magical solution for everything.
Exactly. It's a powerful tool, but it's still just a tool. It's up to us to use it responsibly and ethically.
Thinking back to our discussion about Alibaba's new AI model, QWQ32B, one of the things that stood out was their emphasis on efficiency. Seems like this is becoming a major driving force in AI development. Why is that?
It's a huge trend, and for good reason. As AI models become more complex and capable, they also demand more computing power. This increased computational need leads to higher energy consumption, which has obvious environmental implications. It also makes it harder to deploy these models on devices with limited processing power.
So the quest for more efficient AI is driven by both practical and ethical considerations.
Precisely. And it's not just about reducing the number of parameters in a model, although that's a part of it. It's also about developing new algorithms and architectures that are inherently more efficient.
Could you give an example of that? What does an efficient architecture look like?
Think of it like optimizing the engine of a car to get better gas mileage. You're not necessarily making the engine smaller, but you're refining its design and components to make it more fuel efficient. In AI, this might involve using techniques like model compression, knowledge distillation, or even exploring entirely new approaches to machine learning that are less computationally intensive.
So just like with car engines, there are trade-offs to consider. You might sacrifice a little performance for increased efficiency, or vice versa.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance for the specific application. Sometimes you need raw power, and other times efficiency is paramount. It's all about choosing the right tool for the job, which goes back to the importance of AI literacy.
This focus on efficiency also has implications for accessibility. If AI models can run on less powerful hardware, does that mean they can be deployed in more places, reaching a wider audience?
Absolutely. Think about the potential applications of AI in developing countries where access to powerful computing resources might be limited. Efficient AI could be a game changer in those contexts.
It's fascinating to think how these advancements could help to bridge the digital divide and bring the benefits of AI to more people around the world. What other implications might there be?
Well, it could also lead to a proliferation of AI applications on everyday devices. Imagine smartphones capable of running complex AI models without draining the battery in an hour, or even smart home appliances that can learn your preferences and adapt to your needs.
That brings us back to our earlier discussion about AI as a thought engine. As it becomes more integrated into our lives, it's increasingly shaping not just what we think, but how we think.
It's a profound shift, and one that we need to be mindful of. AI is becoming a powerful force in our cognitive landscape, curating information, suggesting ideas, and influencing our perceptions in subtle ways.
While it can be helpful in many ways, like when AI helps us learn new things, discover connections we might have missed, or personalize our experiences, there's a potential downside, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's important to be aware of the potential biases in AI systems, the possibility of filter bubbles and echo chambers, and the potential erosion of critical thinking skills if we become overly reliant on AI-driven recommendations and suggestions. We don't want to end up in a world where algorithms are doing all our thinking for us.
It's about striking that balance, isn't it? between embracing the power of AI and maintaining our own intellectual autonomy.
Exactly. We need to be active participants in our own learning and decision-making, not just passive recipients of AI-generated content.
It's about using AI as a tool for empowerment, not a crutch for complacency. What are some ways people can do that, besides AI literacy, of course?
One important thing is to be mindful of the sources of information we consume. Do we rely solely on algorithms to curate our news feeds and social media, or do we actively seek out diverse perspectives and challenge our own assumptions?
So it's about being aware of those filter bubbles and making a conscious effort to break out of them.
Exactly. It's also about being critical of the information we encounter online. Just because something pops up in our social media feed or a search result doesn't mean it's accurate or unbiased. We need to develop our own filters and evaluate information thoughtfully.
That's a great point. And it's something we should be teaching our children as well. Critical thinking skills are going to be even more important in the age of AI.
Absolutely. We need to equip future generations with the tools to navigate this complex information landscape. They need to be able to distinguish between fact and fiction, identify bias, and evaluate information sources critically.
Those are skills that will serve them well in all aspects of their lives, not just in relation to AI. And for those of us who didn't grow up with AI, it's never too late to start honing those skills.
I completely agree. We can all benefit from developing our critical thinking skills and becoming more discerning consumers of information.
It all comes back to that idea of being an active participant, not a passive consumer.
Well said. And that brings us back to AI literacy. The more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this new landscape and harness its power for good.
We've covered a lot of ground today, but there's still so much more to explore. We'll be back after a short break to delve into some specific examples of how AI is being used in different fields, and we'll wrap up our discussion with some of the ethical considerations that we need to be thinking about as AI continues to evolve. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into AI. It's been quite a journey exploring the latest developments in AI. I'm curious to hear what's been swirling around in your mind, especially after that last segment, about AI's potential to influence how we think. What are your takeaways so far?
What's resonating with me the most is this idea of AI as a double-edged sword. On one hand, we've seen how it can accelerate scientific discovery, enhance military capabilities, and personalize our online experiences. But on the other hand, we've also talked about those potential risks, bias, filter bubbles, and the erosion of critical thinking. It's a powerful technology that demands careful consideration.
I agree completely. It feels like we're at a crossroads, with incredible potential in one direction and some potential pitfalls in the other. How do we ensure that AI is used for good? How do we steer it toward a future that benefits humanity as a whole?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's one that doesn't have an easy answer. But I think a good starting point is recognizing that AI isn't some external force acting upon us. It's something we're creating, shaping, and ultimately responsible for.
So it's not about AI versus humans, but rather AI and humans working together in a way that amplifies our strengths and helps us overcome our weaknesses.
Exactly, and that's where AI literacy comes in. We need to equip ourselves with the knowledge and skills to understand AI, to critically evaluate its outputs, and to guide its development in a direction that aligns with our values.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about empowering individuals and communities to be active participants in the AI revolution, not just passive bystanders caught up in the whirlwind of change.
Precisely. And it's about fostering collaboration between different disciplines. We need technologists, ethicists, social scientists, policymakers, everyone working together to ensure that AI development is guided by a diverse range of perspectives.
That's a great point. AI isn't just a technical issue. It has social, political, and even philosophical implications. We need to have these broader conversations about the kind of future we want to create with AI.
Absolutely. And these conversations need to happen at all levels, from classrooms to boardrooms to government institutions. The future of AI isn't predetermined. It's something we're actively shaping through our choices and actions.
So what can we do as individuals to make a positive impact on the development and use of AI? What are some concrete steps we can take to promote responsible AI?
Well, first and foremost, educate yourself about AI. There are so many resources available online, articles, videos, online courses, and podcasts like this one. The more you understand about how AI works, its potential benefits and risks, the better equipped you'll be to engage in these conversations and make informed decisions.
Great advice. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to a technology as transformative as AI.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're using an AI-powered tool or service, dig a little deeper. Try to understand how it works, what data it's using, and what its limitations might be.
So it's about being a curious and critical user, not just blindly accepting whatever the AI presents.
Exactly. And be mindful of your own data. Understand how your online behavior is being used to train AI models and make informed choices about what data you're willing to share.
It's about taking ownership of our digital footprints and recognizing that our data is a valuable resource that should be handled responsibly.
Absolutely. And finally, engage in the conversation. Talk to your friends, family, colleagues, and elected officials about AI. Share your knowledge, express your concerns, and advocate for policies that promote responsible AI development and use.
It's a powerful reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI. It's not something that's happening out there. It's something we're all actively shaping through our choices and actions.
It really is. The future of AI is a story that's still being written, and we all have the opportunity to contribute to its narrative.
Well said. As we wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. If you could ask the developers of any of these AI technologies one question, what would it be? What question would help you better understand their vision for the future of AI, its potential benefits, and its potential risks?
That's a great question to end on. It encourages us to keep exploring, learning, and engaging in thoughtful dialogue about the future we're creating with AI.
Exactly. And it reminds us that this is just the beginning of the AI revolution. There's so much more to discover, and the journey is only going to get more exciting from here. Thanks for joining us on AI Daily Deep Dive. Until next time, keep exploring the ever-evolving world of AI.